Fact 5 presents.
Five shocking snakebite stories. Number 5. Man dies from snakebite by refusing medical treatment because of his faith. 6-year-old John David Brock, a member of the Mossy Simpson Pentecostal snake handling church in Kentucky, was handling a rattlesnake as part of a church service when it sunk its fangs into his left arm. Snake handling at religious services is said to date back to the early 1900s, and the pastors used snakes to show non-Christians that God protects them from harm, holding them aloft as they pray, sing or dance. The belief stems from the reading of Jesus' words in the Gospel of Mark. Believers will pick up snakes with their hands and they will drink the deadly poison. It will not hurt them at all. They will place their hands on sick people and they will get well. As John was a devout worshipper of the Holiness faith, he refused medical treatment upon being bitten by the rattlesnake, believing that God would save him from the poisonous effects caused by the venom. Consequently, John died 4 hours later at his brother's house. Number 4. Dancer bitten by snake during rehearsals for MTV Music Video Awards. Contortionist and dancer Janice Rudiaz agreed to perform in Nicki Minaj's Anaconda routine at the VMAs whilst holding a 6-foot Dumerel's boa constrictor. During the practice, the Madagascan-grown boa wrapped its thick body around Janice as part of the performance. However, with Janice readjusting herself with the snake then decided to take a bite out of her left arm, remaining there for around 45 seconds. Fortunately for Janice, the Dumerel's boa constrictor is a non-venomous species, but had it been a venomous snake, there would have been a completely different outcome. Number 3. Scientist who documented his own death by a snakebite. In 1957, herpetologist K.P. Schmidt was working at the Natural History Museum and agreed to take a look at a snake that was brought in by the Lincoln Park Zoo. He immediately recognised that the snake was from Africa, covered in brightly coloured patterns, and had the shape similar to that of a boomslang snake, a venomous snake found in sub-Saharan Africa. However, the well-known snake expert had his doubts about his observation, whether it was actually a boomslang snake. Unconvinced, Schmidt took a closer inspection, a decision which ultimately led to his death. Upon closer inspection, the boomslang snake darted out and bit Schmidt's left thumb, leaving 2 3mm deep puncture wounds. Instead of seeking medical attention like any sane human being would, Schmidt then turned to his journal and began noticing the effects and writing them down so he could record them. For example, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Strong chill and shaking followed by fever of 101.7. Bleeding from mucous membranes in the mouth began around 5:30, apparently mostly from gums. His very last recording, however, was from the 26th of December 1957, with the word excessively being the last entry in his diary. At 6:30 a.m, temperature of 98.2, ate cereal and poached eggs on toast and apple sauce, and coffee for breakfast. No urine, with an ounce or so of blood about every 3 hours. Mouth and nose continuing to bleed, not excessively. A few hours prior to his death, Schmidt was given the choice if he wanted some medical care. However, he refused because it would upset the symptoms he was documenting. Number 2. Toddler who bit the head of a pit viper and killed it. This story is very unusual. Instead of the case where a snake bites a human, it was the other way around for this toddler. A 17-month-old Brazilian toddler named Lorenzo was playing with a family dog in the garden of his home when he encountered a venomous pit viper. The mother of the toddler decided to check on her child, when she was startled to discover that the toddler was holding the viper in his mouth with blood on his hands and face. There was no sign that the boy had been bitten by the snake, and the only casualty was the snake, which was bitten on the head by the toddler, immobilizing it, which stopped it from causing any harm. Unknowingly for the toddler, this saved his own life. Number 1. Teenager who committed suicide using a Cobra. An 18-year-old teenager, Grant Thompson, was found dead in his car in Austin, Texas, with his death being ruled as suicide by snakebite. The autopsy report revealed that Grant intentionally allowed the Cobra to repeatedly bite him on the arm, which left several bite marks. In addition, the report also showed that the teenager had marijuana and amphetamines in his system at the time. Cobra venom causes paralysis and respiratory failure, and will eventually lead to death in as little as 30 minutes, which was an unfortunate case for this teenager.